So we can go ahead and dive right into it. Again, welcome everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the product module in Webgility Online. We did a sort of similar session for Webgility Desktop a couple weeks ago. The difference between these two sessions is that Webgility Desktop has a little bit more depth when it comes to inventory, mostly because QuickBooks Desktop has sort of that same depth. They have advanced inventory and multiple inventory sites, and there's a lot more going on generally in QuickBooks Desktop. Whereas QuickBooks Online and Webgility Online, it's a little more simple, a little more pared down, but we wanted to sort of explain how the product module works, how to get the most out of it, and make sure that you're not running into any issues with your catalog, either in your Shopify or your online store or in your QuickBooks Online. So, to introduce ourselves, my name is John May. I'm the engagement manager here for Webgility. So, if you've been on our website, seen any of the YouTube videos, called into our online, our IVR phone system, you've heard my voice and seen my face. And then I'm joined by Faizan. I'll let you introduce yourself, Faizan.
Hello, everybody. I'm Fazan, a senior implementation manager at Webgility and co-host. And I've been a part of this company for more than 5 years now, successfully onboarded 1,000 plus customers. So I'm sure by the end of this webinar, you people will have I will address all your queries and concerns.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm right behind you. I've been here for like 4.5 years, so we're pretty
Uh-huh.
close.
That's
Um,
right.
and I always like to shout out the implementation team because without the implementation team, these webinars would probably be a little bit more boring with just my voice and my face. It gives us a lot more knowledge because you guys deal with the product on a day-to-day basis. I used to be in implementation, so I do have a lot of product knowledge, but you guys are clutch. You guys help out a lot. So. All right.
Mhm.
For the agenda today, pretty straightforward. As always, I like to do a little bit of a preamble intro to sort of what we're talking about, just kind of talk about the product module, what it is, why it is the way that it is, and how we're sort of framing this conversation around the product module. Then we'll move to sort of the common problems. I think it's always important to talk about, the things that merchants, sellers, accounting teams, whoever is using Webgility, or whoever is running the online store, the things that they run into on a daily basis, if things aren't set up properly or if they don't have, the automation set up for their online stores. From there, we'll sort of dip into how WebGility alleviates those problems. Some of them are really straightforward answers. Some of them are like just basically baked into the way that WebGility works. But ultimately, we want to give you guys the ammunition to say, like, okay, well, if I do run into this issue, I can at least know that WebGility can fix it in this way, or even circumvent those issues altogether and set things up ahead of time to make sure that you don't run into these in the future. And then finally, we'll end with some best practices, just some things that you can do here and there to ensure that you're putting your best foot forward. And then we'll end with that Q&A at the very end. And then I have a poll at the very end, just to ask you guys some quick questions. So to start, and I don't think I have a slide specifically for the intro, so I'll just keep it on this one. The product module, and you may not have heard that term before. It sort of is like an internal term, I would say, for the most part. When we're saying the product module, we're referring to the section where you click on products inside of Webgility Online. So generally, you could refer to this as your product catalog, the product syncing tool, anywhere that you're managing products within Webgility Online is generally how we're referring to the product module. And it encompasses not only the catalog, but the way that you do sync and the way that you set everything up. So we think it's important to talk through this stuff because, especially if you're a newer user and you haven't really, fully dove into how WebGility can, streamline your processes, it can be really easy to run in some issues early on, particularly related to like SKUs and inventory setups. So I think it's a really good topic to just make sure that you guys have the baseline understanding of how inventory works with Webgility and how we can again streamline some of those processes. So, without further ado, I'll stop talking for a minute and hand it over to Faizan to talk through some of these common problems.
Thank you, John. Hello everybody. Today I will walk you through one of the most important feature for streamlining inventory management for e-commerce businesses, that is the product module in Webgility Online. First, I would like to discuss the most common challenges. Like before we deep dive into the demonstration part, first I would like to begin with the real world challenges faced by most e-commerce businessmen and merchants. So in many cases, the product list of the online store doesn't match the item in the QuickBooks accounting or any accounting like Xero, QuickBooks Online we support. So we s- when these two systems product don't match, that's when the real problem begin. So I have prepared a list of common issues that occur when product don't match between systems, especially when posting orders to the accounting platform. So let me walk you through each one of them. Number one, duplicate items start showing in the accounting. Number second, COGS and inventory levels become inaccurate. The number third, wrong item get posted into the order. Next, teams end up spending countless hours weekly trying to match these products. And when it comes to new products require daily mapping, wasting even more time. And at the end of the month, reports and reconciliation turns into nightmare. So, would you mind just go to the solution slide, John? Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. So now let's talk about the solution, like how the WebGility's product module feature address all these concern, or in simple term, how this module will ensure that your entire product ecosystem remains clean, accurate, and in sync. So first, WebGility pulls in all your item from e-commerce store and accounting system to prepare a product catalog report. Once everything is in one place, this module helps you match and map products accurately. So both systems speaks the same language. It also ensures you never create duplicate items in accounting system again. And I'm sure which is one of the biggest headache for most of the merchants. And for new SKUs, there'll be no problem at all. The product module let you manage new items effortlessly without daily manual work. And most importantly, it helps you maintain clean inventory and clean order posting going into your accounting system, which means accurate reporting and smooth reconciliation. So in short, the product module remove all the chaos, keep your data clean, and give you the control over your products. So now I'm going to share my computer screen so I can give you a live demonstration of the product module feature and also walk you through how it works to manage your inventory. So just give me a minute. Huh?
Yeah, yeah, no worries. And yeah, I think to
Mhm,
to sort of boil all those problems down, I'd like to use a common
mhm,
scenario that I ran into in implementation, especially with people that were either setting up a new store or setting up a new company file, was that they'd have, 20,000 SKUs or 20,000 products in their catalog, but then the SKUs wouldn't match between them. And that can create a huge bottleneck, not only either for WebGility, but just like
mhm,
if you want things to run properly, you sort of have to address the elephant in the room there, which is that Webgility or any system wouldn't be able to tell which items match to, their counterparts in QuickBooks versus, the online store. So if you have 20,000 products with their own individual
mhm.
SKUs and then in QuickBooks it's a different item name that doesn't maybe match exactly, that can create a lot of issues. So I think Faizan, you're going to do a really good job of explaining how
Right.
how the product module can make that
That
easier.
is that is true because this is the most common problem which I face in every second onboarding training where the SKUs are not matching, the items are not properly listed, and because of that, their reporting, financial reporting, it is not, preparing the exact data what they are expecting for. So first, I have to walk them through with the product module, ensure that their every single item of a sales channel matches to QuickBooks accounting or any other accounting system. So we are at the dashboard screen, or you could say we are at the home screen of Webgility Online. Now, in the left panel, just give me a minute.
Hmm.
Now, in the left panel, we have a products module feature. When I select this drop down, then I can see all the options: catalog, inventory, price, cost, and multiple inventory sync channels. Let's begin with the product catalog. So, when it comes to this catalog reporting, with this option, what WebGility exactly do, it download the items from QuickBooks from online store. Like I connected Shopify right now. So it will download the list of Shopify products, QuickBooks, and let us know how many items are matching, not matching, right? So first thing, what are you all do you need to do? You need to verify from the top right corner. When was the last time the product catalog report generated? I mean, I refreshed this list an hour ago, but sometimes I have noticed people, I mean, the items are not downloaded for months and for fortnight. So it is really important. If you're managing this application, then you just need to refresh this product list every day. So what Webgility does, it pulls in item from sales channel, from your e-commerce, and from QuickBooks, and it will prepare the latest catalog report. Let's say if you added a new product, removed any item, even modified SKUs, price and quantity of items, it's a thumb rule. Then it becomes a thumb rule to download this latest data and settings. Now it's still refreshing, but I would like to continue here with these tabs. So first tab in the second row, it is all about missing in QuickBooks. Oops, the report has been successfully generated. Okay, now we have the latest item information here.
Yeah, and that refresh that you just did to download and make sure that it's updated with all the latest products, that's going to
Correct.
correlate directly with how many products you have. So always keep in mind that the more products you have, the longer something is going to take to refresh, especially
Mhm.
like depending on your internet connection as well. So just to keep in mind, if you have like 5 products or something like that, clicking refresh is almost instantly going to refresh that
Instantly.
list. Yeah.
That is true. So currently missing in QuickBooks, like what this term denotes that these are your Shopify products and none of these items of Shopify, they are
Mhm.
matching with QuickBooks item. Let's say if I have set a matching criteria, these Shopify SKU should match with QuickBooks item name field or SKU field. So 1273 products currently they are not matching. Now we need to understand that there are two possibilities why these items are in this particular tab. Number one, these Shopify product, they exist or they may not exist in QuickBooks accounting. Let's say if any one of these items is a new product. For example, let's talk about this Alan Solid shirt. If it is not in QuickBooks, so what I can do, I can just select it and I can create it right away. So WebGility will create one of your Shopify item into QuickBooks accounting. And if I would like to create all of them, I can just select the batch size from the bottom right corner here, and I can list all your items in your QuickBooks accounting. Now, second scenario, it is all about that item do exist. In most of the cases, what it happens with me, that item do exist on both platform in Shopify as well as in QuickBooks, or but they are not matching because their SKUs are not identical. So we have given a manual matching option here. For example, I've seen Ellen Soli. Let me search for this item. Like we have also given a search bar. So if you would like to create any particular item, you can just search for it and start listing. So let's say this item, it already exists with one of the QuickBooks item. I select it and I match the product.
Yeah,
So
so
here,
that drop down that you're seeing,
right.
I think it's important to call out that we have sort of
Mhm,
a drop down that allows you to search for the product. So if you know what the SKU is inside of QuickBooks that corresponds to the SKU in Shopify, just search directly for it, and that'll allow you to make that. We used to call it mapping,
mhm,
but I think that
mhm,
term sort of confused people because there's matching versus mapping. I still think
mhm,
it's a good term, but essentially what you're doing is creating a bridge between the item in Shopify and the item in QuickBooks without having to have it actually match that exact SKU. Um, in which case, I'll let Faizan explain where those
mhm.
mapped
Right.
items show up.
That's thank you. So once you manually successfully match this product, like if I just go ahead and click on match product, so it will just go remove from missing in QuickBook list, and it will list right inside manual matched here. So here you will see the list of items that we have matched manually. And in case, let's say it happens most of the time that you may have accidentally do the matching incorrect between incorrect items, between incorrect SKUs of QuickBooks and Shopify. So we have an option here to unmatch the product.
Yeah, everything
So,
is undoable if it needs to be. Nothing is set in stone in Webgility. We like to give you the ability to undo anything that
right.
possibly was a mistake.
Then we have auto matched. Within auto matched, once you refresh the list, then it will show you the products that whose SK numbers are already matching. So 98 items between the both systems, items are matching here. And then we have ignore tab. So most of the time I have seen that there are a couple of out of stock or items listed on e-commerce platform where they are no longer selling it. So if I want to ignore any of these items, like these items I'm no longer selling, but it is still listed on my website and I don't want them to create or map in QuickBooks. So I simply select them and click on ignore products. That's it. So these we can avoid creating or mapping of any item that you don't want to list in QuickBooks accounting. Then we have one last tab, it is missing in Shopify right here. So with missing in Shopify, here you will see the list of QuickBooks item that are not matching with any SKUs of Shopify items. But generally, I recommend my customers, to skip this particular part, like skip the listing of these products because it's a one-way process. Orders are coming from Shopify or online store and it is recording them to QuickBooks. So it is most important to ensure that all the items that are listed within missing in QuickBooks tab, they are either matched, mapped, or ignored. Just keep this little one zero so that it will keep your order posting seamlessly. John, I have seen a few questions in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, I see Angela asked, sorry, I joined late. I'm guessing this is an add-on module, and it is not. So if you're
It
using
is.
Webgility Online, it's a baseline feature for
Mhm.
accounting workflows that utilize inventory sync, is basically it.
R- Right. Mhm.
Okay, desktop. So desktop is going to have a very similar situation. It's going to look differently. We did a session specifically on inventory a couple weeks ago that I can send you, Angela. I think some of the advice that we'll have after this part that we're in right now will definitely apply to you. But this specific screen that we're looking at right now, the demo that we're doing, is going to be specifically for online. So,
Mhm.
yeah, the advice that we have and sort of the best practices will apply to everybody though, not just online users.
Okay, and I have seen one question from Jen. Jen to mention that he's facing an issue. He deleted all the items in QuickBooks Online, but those items are still appearing in WebGility. So, John,
Mhm.
I will let you know how we can download the items from the scratch. Okay, when we will discuss the setting in next few minutes, then I will let you know how we can download items from QuickBooks in Scratch.
Yeah, basically we're just he'll show exactly what we're talking about, but you're essentially just telling WebGility that it needs to be fully refreshed is what's
That's right.
happening.
Okay. So this is all about catalog. Like you can figure out how many items are matching, not matching. You can create manual match and you can ignore them. Then we have inventory section at the top. And with this inventory part, oops, just give me a second. Um,
Yeah,
so
and
the next,
one additional point for the catalog, just because we didn't
mhm,
mention it, was I know it says in the demo that we're doing, it says missing in Shopify. It obviously will not always say Shopify. It'll say missing in
in
whatever sales channel that you're in. So if it's
right.
BigCommerce or Amazon or whatever it is, it'll say it's just missing in your sales channel. We can't find the corresponding item for that
Mhm,
sales channel from QuickBooks.
that's true. Like Shopify term I'm using because I connected Shopify right now.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, to be completely honest, that is a large part of our customer base is people that use Shopify or Amazon. So Shopify should be a pretty familiar term for most people.
That's right. Now, let me navigate to the inventory part. And when it comes to the inventory feature, we have a refresh icon at the top right corner here again. So if you update the quantity of items in QuickBooks or in Shopify, you can just go ahead and refresh this list. Now, what Webgility allows you to synchronize the price and quantity of items between your e-commerce platform and accounting system. So let's take example for this first item, Adidas shoe. This item is matching. They have a common SKU number, but WebGLity figured out after generating the latest report that there's a difference in the quantity count. So on QuickBooks, this item is listed with 50 quantities, but on Shopify, it is out of stock. So if I just select this option, click on synchronize at the top, WebGility allows you to sync in both direction. So from QuickBooks, like QuickBooks is the master data, from QuickBooks to store. So whatever quantity we have on QuickBooks, it will update on store or vice versa from store to QuickBooks. So I have selected them from QuickBooks to store and let me synchronize it. Now, whatever quantity count you have in QuickBooks, it will update on store. And once it's updated successfully, it will remove from the list. It seems I also need to download the latest information of the items. I'm getting an error, but I can just select them all, click on synchronize, and from QuickBooks to store, that's something what I can do. Same goes with pricing. This is all about sale price of product. So Webgility will also let you know how many items have a conflicting pricing, sale price between QuickBooks and e-commerce item. And then we have cost. So with these three options, inventory, price, and cost, you can synchronize the sale price, cost price, and quantity of items. You can keep all the products in sync. I've just received a message from Peter. He's asking, when will you guys provide the?
Yep.
Okay.
He asked if the recording is going to be shared. I just replied.
hmm
So there's a link to the playlist on our YouTube channel that they always get uploaded to. But
hmm
anybody that registers or attends will get an email. Again, probably Friday with the holiday tomorrow.
hmm
With a link to the recording directly. So
Perfect. Thanks, John. So with these three options, you can keep your inventory in sync based on sale price, cost price, and quantity. Now, the last option, it is all about multiple channel syncing. Let's say if you have connected Webgility to two different online stores like BigCommerce, Amazon, Shopify, anyone. So what Webgility can do with this particular option, Webgility allows you to synchronize the quantity count directly between two platforms, e-commerce platforms. For example, here Shopify is the master data, but I would like to synchronize the quantity of Amazon item. So this you need to ensure that all the items what you have on Shopify, they also list in your QuickBooks accounting, right? If they don't, then you can just select the NA option here, right? Let's say this item in QuickBooks, oh sorry, in Shopify, this item is listed with this name. Now on Amazon, it's this item. Right? So I do one-to-one mapping and Webgility will synchronize between two sales channel or two online platforms. So right now I have set master data as Shopify. So whatever quantity count we have on Shopify, it will update on Amazon.
yeah, and it's important to note that the sort of the flow here would be that generally we always recommend using QuickBooks as like your master data, right? Because that's
Mhm.
where you're obviously going to be using all of your financial data for the rest of your business. So it makes sense that it is the most foolproof sort of part of your business. So from there, you want to make sure that your master inventory on the sales channel side is a specific channel like your Shopify. And then you can sync, like Faizan just mentioned, you can sync that Shopify inventory over to Amazon. So that way, if you're trying to keep everything in sync, you can sort of follow one with the other, right? So you sync from your QuickBooks to your Shopify, and then using the multi-channel sync, you sync that Amazon to the Shopify as well,
Right.
or
And
whatever the
I've seen,
master is.
right. And there are two questions from Cheryl and Angela. So Cheryl are asking what is the impact of adjustment on the PL report. So when Webgility posts an order, right, to your QuickBooks accounting, so you need whatever cost price you have associated to that order item. QuickBooks will prepare the COGS report based on that, the expense report based on that. Now, the next option, it is all about Angela. It is, does Webgility know what we have on stock in Amazon? Yes, it is possible. We
Yes.
can synchronize the quantity of item between Amazon and QuickBooks. But the only limitation here is Webgility is capable of synchronizing merchant items, FBM items, not FBA,
Yeah.
the one that are fulfilled by Amazon, because FBA manage its own inventory. So yes, it is possible. You just consider QuickBooks Online as master data, and whatever count we have, we can just sync it to Amazon Seller Central for FBM items,
Yeah, good question.
right? So now, this is all about product module. Now let me just go to the product settings. Like this is something what we need to configure before we start operating this application. So Webgility is aware how to identify the um, inventory. I've seen a question from Peter.
Yeah, Peter
Uh,
asked, and it's not a foolish question at all. I think it's a very
mhm,
valid question.
yes.
When would you suggest using Webgility Online versus using Webgility Desktop? Usually the
Hmm.
conversation is very simple. We've tried to keep it as simple as possible. There's some
Hmm.
outlier, situations where you might use one over the other outside of this general recommendation, but generally it's if you're using QuickBooks Enterprise, use Webgility Desktop. And if you're using QuickBooks Online, use Webgility Online. That's the easiest way
Hmm.
to segment it. They pair really well together because, like QuickBooks Online is like
Hmm.
very user friendly, sort of simple and pared down. That's how we've sort of positioned Webgility Online. It has a lot of the same sort of aesthetic. And then QuickBooks Desktop has a lot of features. There's a lot of, I always use this term, levers and knobs that you can pull to kind of customize things. And Webgility Desktop is the exact same. There's a lot of customizability. It's really feature rich, but that comes with generally a little more complicated workflow setup. So usually, sort of the evolution is that if you have a really complicated workflow, if you have a lot of complex needs in your inventory or your order management system, then you would use Webgility Desktop because it gives you that flexibility. Not to say that Webgility Online can't handle most situations. It's just that you might get a little bit more finesse out of the desktop system where there's, again, those levers and knobs that you can pull.
Right. In addition to this, like handling multiple inventory sites, advanced level inventory, unit of measure. These are the features what Webgility Desktop offer. Peter has also raised one more question.
Yeah, Peter asked, will you guys be going over the Webgility desktop at all today? We use Webgility desktop a ton and we have a very complicated workflow. So we will not
Mhm.
necessarily specifically be going over Webgility desktop, but I'm going to drop a link to the last recording that we did, which was for Webgility desktop. It was for our advanced inventory, like multiple location workflow that we did 2 weeks ago. So I'll send that to
Mhm.
you. And then if you feel like you need sort of a helping hand with making sure that your workflow is set up for Webgility Desktop, we can schedule an implementation session for you. And this goes to anybody on the call or that's watching the recording back. If you feel like you need somebody to sort of walk through how Webgility Desktop connects to your QuickBooks and make sure that it's set up properly, we can schedule, we call it a refresher IM session where we'll go through and we'll just make sure everything is set up properly for you.
That's right. Okay, so let's talk about the product settings. So first of all, we need to set up a product matching criteria between online store sales channel and accounting system so that Webgility can identify. Now, SKU is the, common field or unique field that we suggest recommend our customers to use. And from QuickBooks accounting, they can use either product name and SKU numbers. So at the time of order posting, based on this matching criteria, Webgility identifies your online store item in QuickBooks. And when it's synchronized, the sale price and cost price of items, it uses this matching criteria and also generating the catalog report. Next, if item doesn't match at the time of order posting, so what act or perform I mean what action Webgility should take at that time? Should it create a new item, flag the order with an error, use any standard item, or give an option to map the item so that we can go ahead and we can simply record the order to the using the correct item. And with Webgility Online, we, as I told you, that we can also create the items from the product catalog tab. So it's completely your call. If you would like to create non-inventory, inventory part product, we can create and associate all the required chart of accounts. The only limitation here is we cannot create bundle items and service type item. We can only create non-inventory and inventory part.
And that's
So
a
this,
good
mhm,
sort of it alludes
mhm,
to the difference between WebGility Desktop and WebGility Online. In WebGility Online, I know I mentioned there's some more advanced inventory stuff there. In WebGility Desktop, you can do bundle and assembly items there as well. So if that is something that you're sort of hinging on in terms of
mhm.
like which one you want to use, assembly and bundle items can be done in desktop. So just to
Right.
add.
Thank you. Thank you, John. So this is all about the products settings, and now let me talk about the automation. Like how many features of product module we can automate so that it will help you, you know, eliminating your manual efforts. Mm, So from product module, um, okay, we can only synchronize the sale price, cost price, and quantity of items. We cannot create or map the items automatically, right? Even we also not recommend to do such practice because it is really important. Like which item would you like to create or ignore? Which item of a online store would you like to map with QuickBooks item? So with automation, you can set direction of synchronizing the price and quantity of items. And when with manual syncing, like when I was just demonstrating, we have both ways from store to QuickBooks and from QuickBooks to store. But with automation, it's just one way. So generally, most of the time, what merchants, online merchants, they consider QuickBooks as the master data. So at the time of order posting of any online sale, Webgility reduces the quantity count from QuickBooks, and if they are recording manual orders in their QuickBooks accounting, so it will also adjust the quantity. So whatever the remaining quantity left, Webgility download the latest item quantity count and it push to online stores. So we can sync the sale price, cost price, and quantity. Mhm.
And
John, if you would
just
like to
because
add something. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I think there might be a question that some people might ask because I know you mentioned when we're in the inventory or the
Mhm.
product module, you have to hit that refresh button, right?
Yes,
Every time that there's new products. Does using the automation tool sort of negate needing to hit that button?
certainly not. Let's say if I set the automation frequency for nightly,
Hmm.
every midnight, Webgility automatically refresh that product catalog list and it will sort the latest item. I mean, it will sort the list of items that have a conflicting price and quantity. So we
Got
have
it.
two frequencies, one for nightly, another for in every 15 minutes on real time.
Okay.
So most of the people, when it comes to inventory syncing, everybody wants to keep the shortest automation frequency to avoid overselling of the product, right?
Mhm.
So it's completely their call how frequent they want it. So,
And let's say that like
mhm,
because I know one of the questions was like
mhm,
I have products that are deleted in QuickBooks Online, but I can't
yep.
get them out. They're still in
Oh,
WebGility. Would turning
yes.
on the automation sort of remove the need to do that because it's updating the product catalog, or do we still need to clear
Well,
that cache essentially?
In general, I mean, it doesn't happen like Webgility when you refresh the catalog report. Webgility download the latest items from QuickBooks and it prepares the list. So if
Hmm.
items what you have removed already, Webgility sort them out. But if it is not doing as it is an application, right? If it is not doing it right away, so you
Hmm.
can do one thing. This question came from. Um,
It was Jan.
it
Yeah,
was
Jan
Jan. Okay,
Jackson.
so Jan, you can do one thing. You can go to product module. And from the top right corner, do you see this refresh latest accounting? Let me highlight it for you. Mm, From the top right corner here. Just do one thing, simply select this drop down, download the items from the scratch and refresh it. So Webgility will download the QuickBooks item from the scratch and prepare a latest product catalog. So this will remove everything, like all the deleted item from the list.
Yeah, yeah, and that also important to note, we have a very similar feature in QuickBooks. I'm sorry, in WebGility Desktop. It's a
Hmm.
little bit more involved. There's like a menu you have to get to get to that option, but same
Hmm.
functionality exists in WebGility Desktop. And it's important to note that because we're essentially downloading everything, like we have never downloaded any of our products before, it'll take a lot longer than just a quick refresh.
Hmm.
Think of it like your browser, right? Like if you go to, we'll just say like webgility.com. It's a good example. If you go to
Hmm.
Webgility a lot, it's going to cache certain information to save you time while you browse. But if you do like a browser refresh, you clear your cache and cookies, it'll take a little bit longer for the website to load because it's having to reload all of those assets. So what is doing is the exact same thing. It's having to go through and download and check all those prices, all of those individual products and upload them or get them listed into Webgility.
Right. And Jen, once it's done, then you can just get back to the product catalog report and verify the list of items. And if you see again, I mean, I'm 100% sure that it will it will delete all the items from the list. But in case if you see that item again, you can always reach out to our support team via chat or through their email addresses. Okay.
And Peter, I see your note about being swamped, especially for, Black Friday,
Mm-hmm.
Cyber Monday, and I mean just that, yeah, the holiday season in general is totally crazy for sellers. So we get that. I'll do a little bit of digging and get some of the, I would say the best of the best articles on products inside of Webgility Desktop, and I'll send them to your email. And
Mm-hmm.
then, like I mentioned to Peter before, if anybody has any questions or needs any help getting things set up in either WebGility Desktop or online, just let us know. We can
Mm-hmm.
schedule a session and get you sorted out in no time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's talk. I know we had one more slide for. Let me share my screen. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
We had one more slide for best practices, and I can go through these, Faizan, and we can just sort of go back and forth if you'd
For
like.
sure. Sure.
Um, but I'd say the first one is mapping items before posting orders. We have always here, and then I put an asterisk there just because there's some exceptions to this rule. But really,
Mm-hmm.
what this means is before you post your orders, you want to make sure that your products exist on both sides and that Webgility knows where they exist on both sides. So that doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be mapped. If you'd like, you can go and match the SKUs on both sides to make sure that, Webgility sees automatically that they're the same item. But if you don't want to have to go and maybe you have a ton of products and they have different SKUs, just go in and, like we said in that product module where you're looking at the inventory catalog, you can go and do that manual matching from product to product. And that'll ensure that when you download your orders, you don't run into any errors or have to create new items or any nonsense when you're posting those orders. Um, and the next one, Faizan, if you want to do the next one.
Keep SQL consistent across all channels. That is true. Like it is really important to ensure that all the item SKUs are supposed to be matching. So what will happen this way that when we refresh the product list, let's say if you connected multiple channels, Shopify, BigCommerce, Magento, and all online store items have the common SKU that matches to QuickBooks online item. So WebGility will match all the items with QuickBooks Online accounting, number one. Number two, when it run the automation for product syncing. So whatever quantity count you have in your QuickBooks accounting, at the time of automation, the frequency it will update quantity count for across all connected sales channel. Number one. Number two, when it post orders to QuickBooks, so whether it is coming from Amazon, Shopify, BigCommerce, or any connected store, at the time of order posting, WebGility will remove the item from the correct QuickBooks Online item.
Yeah, perfect. And
Hmm.
I think the keeping consistent SKUs is there's maybe some more context there as well.
Hmm.
Like I mentioned, when you
Hmm.
I run into or I ran into a lot of people that had uh again 20,000 SKUs or 20,000 products and the SKUs didn't match between their platforms. Really, there's going to come a point where maybe you can't avoid that, where you have years worth of catalog and you start a new store and it's just not the same process. So there are some ways that you can maybe relog all of your SKUs across all of your platforms in the form of like a bulk update. QuickBooks allows you to bulk update SKUs directly within QuickBooks using a spreadsheet. So it's not necessarily that you have to go and manually enter the SKU to correspond to the right product across all of your platforms. There are some shortcuts that you can do here and there to make it a little easier. Still an undertaking if you're trying to update again 20,000 SKUs. That can be a lot of work. But there, like I said, there's some ways to alleviate that. Some other tips. Schedule your automated tasks or your sync tasks wisely. I would say for some people, this means that you are going to log in every single day and make sure that things are running correctly, right? I think there's some workflows where that's necessary.
Hmm.
And then there's some times where if you have a pretty decent handle on it, if you feel like your orders are flowing really well, you haven't run into any issues, you can kind of scale it back a little bit and do it like bi-weekly or something like that. So It's not really one size fits all. I think that the good thing about WebGility is that it's flexible to a lot of different workflows. So I would say find the workflow that works for you. Obviously, you want to test that workflow before you go completely hands off and like don't log in for days at a time, because nobody wants to come back to a mess and have to, figure out what went wrong. But there are people that use WebGility that log in once a month and just come in to check things out. Obviously, there's some variance there. It depends on how complicated your workflow is, but there is a reality where you don't have to log into WebGility all the time to make sure things are working properly. And that's the ideal situation for us, is just making it easier for you, saving you time.
Right.
And that kind of goes into the last point of reviewing mapped or unmapped and missing items. Um, on top of the sync tasks, it's good to go in and check and make sure that your orders don't have any errors, that you're not missing any items. It's just like a housekeeping thing, right? Like
Mhm.
if you make sure that things are set up properly, and you mop the floors every once in a while and you do the laundry and take out the trash, you're not going to really have to worry about things piling up and becoming stressful when it all sort of hits the wall, right? So,
Right.
most of this advice is just to do some housekeeping. Sometimes it'll be a little bit more upfront work, which that's what our team is here for. So if you run into issues and you sort of need help figuring out where to start or what to do specifically, reach out to our team. But otherwise, it's more just like go in, clean it up every now and then. At the very beginning, it's suggested that you clean it up as often as possible so that you understand, one, how WebGility works on a fundamental level, and two, how you can fix problems when they come up. Sorry, Faizan, I know that was a bit
No,
of a
no,
rant.
no. That's
Anything to
totally fine. I mean,
add?
it is really good a wrap up on Webgility Online. That's really good.
Perfect, perfect.
Mhm.
I know we've had a lot of questions throughout the webinar, so I doubt we'll have a ton in the Q&A section, but I'll open it up to Q&A if anybody has any questions. Angela, I know that you're a WebGility desktop user, and we didn't really talk about desktop at all, but if you have any questions on desktop, I'm happy to answer those now. Um, Otherwise, I have a poll that I can run in the meantime as well, just to, save you guys some time. Don't want you to sit in here for too long. I know the holiday is upon us. So I'm going to run a quick poll. Basically, I know over the last couple webinars, we've been doing a sort of just like a temperature test. We'd love to set up a community that allows people to get advice from sellers like yourselves, people that use WebGility every day, on top of us being able to provide you guys insight as well. We just need to know where you guys want or where you guys would prefer to set up a community. I left it open ended. I didn't want to give you questions because I felt like that was a bit of a leading question. But if you guys would rather use Discord or Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups, the last one that we got a lot of feedback on was Slack. So if you'd prefer that we have a Slack channel where people can go in, ask questions, get support on certain things, just let us know. That's what we're here for. We want to make sure that you guys have the support that you need. Um, so yeah, I'll leave the poll up. If anybody has any questions, now would be the time to ask them. And of course, to reiterate, the session is recorded. It'll be sent out over the next couple days. And if you scroll up a little bit in the chat, you'll see that I linked the YouTube, and I'll paste the link in here again because why not? Um, I linked our YouTube playlist for all previous recordings of these customer webinars. We have a lot more on our YouTube channel as well. We have quick walkthroughs, promotional videos, tons of different stuff. So feel free to browse there, but the link that I posted is to the playlist for these customer webinars specifically. All right, and I'll leave the poll up for a couple more seconds. I can watch YouTube and follow up after that if I need to learn more. Yeah, that's
Sure.
perfect, Angela.
Definitely, Angelo.
Yeah, and so just to kind of explain our timeline for these webinars, we swap off every 2 weeks doing a QuickBooks or a WebGility Online focused webinar and then a WebGility desktop focused webinar. We figured that that would just be easier because if a desktop user didn't really understand the difference between online and desktop, it just keeps it simple. So generally, we'll do at least a similar topic, if not the exact same topic, bi-weekly. So 2 weeks ago, we did the desktop version, I would say, of this exact conversation. And then our next, I can tell you what the next, I can't remember off the top of my
I think
head.
it's refunds, how Webgility handles the refunds.
Yes, you are right.
But
So yeah,
I need to confirm. I mean, is it desktop or online version? I,
it's
be- I
desktop.
believe it's
Yeah,
desktop.
desktop
Okay.
will be the next one, so we'll cover refunds.
Right.
And then, as always, if you guys have feedback on the topics that you want to see covered, anything that you feel we haven't covered adequately or enough of, feel free to let us know. I mean, the whole reason we do these customer webinars is to give you guys the ammo that you need. So if there's something that you feel you'd benefit a lot from, just let us know because we can always add it to the timeline. There is no problem with that. I'll go ahead and end the poll and the answers that we got. I don't know why it doesn't just show me right away. Nice. Angela said, I'd like whatever you choose. Perfect. I love that. Perfect. Facebook might work for me or Slack. So yeah, that's kind of what it's been between for us as well, is more heavily leaning towards Slack. But Facebook has been an option as well. So appreciate the insight. We can go ahead and end it here. Like I said, look out for that email with the video recording of this session. And then look out for emails for future webinars that'll be sent out over the next couple weeks. Thanks for your time. Yeah, appreciate you guys. We really appreciate you guys being here, asking questions, engaging. That's the whole reason we do it. So everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving and a great weekend.
Everybody, bye and enjoy your Thanksgiving with friends and family. Bye bye.
Thanks, Faizan.
Have a blessed week ahead. Bye.